Hi everyone, and thanks for those who've just joined us. Thanks for joining our Promoting Yourself Through Social Media and Networking Couch to College session. The session is going to be presented by Sarah and Jenny, who are both part of the employability team here at the Manchester College. Throughout the session, please feel free to use the Q&A box to the right of your screen and ask any questions that you have. I'll now pass over to Jenny to get the session started. Hi Jenny.
Hiya, thank you. Hello, I'm Jenny Hudson and I'm here with Sarah Shortall. We both work in the employability team at the Manchester College, and we're going to talk to you about how to promote yourself through social media. And as Amy said, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, then just pop them in the chat box and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the session. So before I begin, I just want to introduce the employability team and just tell you a little bit about what we do at the college. The team's split into different clusters by subject area, and each cluster has an employer engagement leader and a number of employability and partnership coordinators. And it's our role to support students to become work ready by helping you obtain work placements and complete a range of work-related activities. The college's aim is to ensure that by the time you leave us, that you haven't just completed a course, but you're ready to begin a career. Work experience and work-related activities will help you to do this, and they'll help you in a number of ways. So by complementing your studies, by introducing you to the world of work, by helping with university applications and interview prep, helping to boost your CV, helping you to grow your network, and also by helping you to try out different career paths to find the best fit. Each week, you'll be timetabled to attend an employability session. This is where you'll work on employability skills such as creating CVs, completing application forms, goal setting, cover letters, and interview skills. Depending on the level of course you're studying and your subject area, you'll need to complete a number of work placement hours. This usually ranges from 2 days to 2 weeks in length. And if you're studying a course with an industry placement, then you'll complete around 315 hours. And that equates to about 45 to 50 days. In addition to work experience, you'll also take part in work-related activities. And this includes things like employer engagement, career talks, masterclasses, and group trips to workplaces, etc. We're here to support you. We'll help you at each step and we'll answer any questions or concerns that you may have. When you enrol at the college, you'll be asked to sign up to what we call the deal. The deal demonstrates a commitment to certain standards and behaviours that will help you during your studies and beyond. The 7 behaviours set out in the deal are also important when it comes to networking and conducting yourself online, which we'll talk a little bit about later. So when we're talking about these behaviours, we're talking about being respectful, professional, ambitious, responsible, collaborative, proactive, and committed. So what is social media? Put simply, social media is made up of applications and websites that enable us to communicate and share content with others. In this webinar, we're going to take a look at social media and social networking and how they can help you during college and beyond. I'm sure you'll be familiar with a number of social media sites already, and I'm guessing that a large number of you will use them on a daily basis. So we're talking about sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. You're probably more familiar with some of these than we are. But for this webinar, the focus is on how social media and social networking can help you promote yourself professionally. So we'll look at how they can help you find work, raise your profile, do your job well, and progress in your chosen fields. And we're also going to talk about professional networking. So the idea of professional networking is to meet or create links with people. There could be people working in a specific organisation or in the wider business community. Networking is carried out face-to-face or online, or it was before COVID and lockdown. Traditionally, people from a variety of businesses might meet at a networking event, and they might introduce themselves and talk about their work and what they do. And it can be a really personal and effective way to find work, promote your skills, and generally get to know other professional people. Sometimes it happens in more informal settings. So in the kitchen of a place of work, for example, a quick chat after a meeting, or a catch up during a conference or another event. And all of this helps to grow your connections or your network and get your name out there. A lot of networking also takes place online, on social media and networking sites, for example on LinkedIn. And like traditional face-to-face networking, the purpose is the same: to meet like-minded people, share work and ideas, and build up relationships over time, to really get to know people working in your area of interest. Professional networking also helps you keep up to date with what's happening in your particular industry. For example, you might read a post on LinkedIn about a conference that you like to attend, or you may get into a conversation on Twitter about a change in the law that will impact on hairdressing, digital agencies, construction, etc. It's really good to be aware of these things and to be able to talk about them with professionals and potential employers. But a word of caution: social media sites are great for personal use. Of course, that's their main purpose. You can connect with friends and family and make new connections. It's a fun and social space to share photos, videos, and other content. But make sure you keep your profiles locked down. And by this I mean, make sure that only the intended audience can see your content. Many employers will search social media sites before appointing new members of staff. So make sure that any content you post can't be seen by anyone than those in your network. Try typing your name into Google to see what information is publicly available about you. Also use the search functions in social media sites. You'll want to ensure that the professional image you project in your CV, in your application, and during your interview is the one that the employer is left with, and not the image of you and your friends partying last weekend. Changing your privacy is fairly simple. Just go into the account settings within your social media profile. And another option that some people prefer is to set up separate accounts for their personal use and also for their professional life. But again, just make sure that personal information is secure. So there are a number of benefits of using social media for networking. You'll get to know what's happening in your chosen area. For example, new events that are coming up, new innovations, new products and services, and other factors affecting the industry. So it's really good to keep abreast of this. You'll get to know other people working in the industry too. There may be people who are already established, and they in turn will have their own contacts, providing additional opportunities. And it's good to let people know who you are, your skills, and your professional interests. You'll hear about lots of new opportunities, such as job vacancies, opportunities to collaborate, new projects, training programs, conferences, and much more. And networking will raise your profile. And what I mean by this is that people will become aware of you and what you can do. Even if they're not in a position to help you directly, they may be able to introduce you to someone in their network. And this is what professional networking is all about. But remember that it takes time for people to know you and to trust you. Relationships are built over time. So it's a good idea to start this process as soon as possible. Professional networking is also a great way to boost your confidence. And for some people, it might require that you go out of your comfort zone a little bit to mix with other people in this way, but it's definitely worth taking that step. It improves communication skills and it teaches you how to create and nurture those really important relationships. I'm going to pass you over to Sarah now, and she'll start by talking about the benefits of using social media to network.
Thank you, Jenny. So when we talk about social media, there are many different platforms that you can use. So on screen, we've just noted some of the more popular ones. So LinkedIn is the largest professional online network, which has over 259 million subscribers. So it is a professional social networking site that enables connections with trusted professionals to exchange knowledge, ideas and opportunities. This site is great in allowing you to contact a direct person. For example, if you're looking for a job in a specific company, you can find their head recruiter where you're able to ask if there are any opportunities. As well as networking, this site has the option to search for current vacancies, with many companies now posting opportunities on here before putting on job sites such as Indeed or Reed. So the next one is Facebook. So Facebook is a great platform to use whether your goal is brand awareness or lead generation. So Facebook has a very wide user base with over 1.23 billion users, meaning that almost anybody can find their target audience on here. So Instagram is a photo-based platform for both businesses and individuals with or without an advertising budget. So many companies use Instagram as a form of marketing, as it is a great way to gain followers organically. So through the use of networking and hashtagging. So nowadays, businesses can actually make money through Instagram, as a lot of people are asked to promote products or companies. So Twitter is another one. It is one of the older social media platforms. However, it is most known for its feed of real-time updates. So it's great for engaging new potential followers and businesses through its use of hashtagging again. Many companies have dedicated careers pages on Twitter, so you can get regular updates that are posted onto your timeline. So in order to use your social media account for professional purposes, you want to ensure you're boosting your presence. So one top tip is to create and complete your social media and networking profiles. So it's simple, but very essential. So if your profiles are not complete, they're not as effective. So it's a good opportunity to show off both your personality and your accomplishments, which are both very important for professionals. So when I talk about completing your account, I refer to making sure that all the relevant information has been added. So for example, LinkedIn asks you to put any employment history or skills you have. This way, employers can see your experience and qualities and may think of roles within their company that suit your skills. So another tip is to be engaging. So following and interacting with people on social media can be what separates you from the masses. So by publishing content, commenting or liking others' content and engaging in conversations, it's a fantastic way to increase traffic to your profile. So you're ensuring that your name appears on other people's timeline, making you stay relevant. So thirdly, try to include links to your work samples. So to build professional credibility, it is not enough to simply just list job duties on your timeline. A more effective approach is to demonstrate your capabilities and your accomplishment by including links to work samples. For instance, you may complete a project and post an update on your profile of the finished product. Another easy way to do this is any work where it involves you working with other companies, try to promote on your platforms, as it shows your ability to work collaboratively. So finally, use recommendations such as LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has a recommendations feature where comments can be written to recognise a colleague, business partner or student's hard work. So as a LinkedIn member, you can request recommendations from your peers as well as endorse other people. Most social media platforms show recommendations of people you may want to follow. Use this wisely, as it is an excellent way to build your network. So in order to grow and retain your following, you need to make your presence noticeable by making sure people know what you're doing and having the pipeline. So like mentioned earlier, sharing and liking on things. Join industry-based forums and subscribe to newsletters so that you know about any upcoming events. Be sure to attend networking events both online and offline. This is a great way to show enthusiasm for your chosen field. Never be afraid to ask questions. We grow and learn by asking questions and fact-finding. So follow up with the people you connect with. Keeping in contact is a vital part of retaining relationships. So this can be done through either email, social media or face-to-face meetings. Also, be willing to offer help as well as take it. Networking is all about doing each other favours, so be willing to go out of your way to help others like you would expect from them. So as you can see, social media can be useful in boosting your online presence and increasing your chances of networking and resulting in more work experience opportunities. So before you start college in September, I would advise you to review your social media accounts and look at ways that you can start using it for professional purposes. thank you for taking the time to attend this event today. Have you got any questions?
Hi, thank you so much to Jenny and to Sarah for the presentation there. Yes, we have had some questions which have come through. Somebody has asked, are students expected to network?
I can take that. There's no expectation, but we would certainly encourage it because students will get a lot out of networking. They'll improve knowledge. You know, they'll find out about jobs in their chosen industry, etc. And in the employability team throughout the year, we set up a number of employer events. So we have employers that come into the college, or we'll set up visits to employer premises, and those are all really great opportunities for students to be able to network with employers and people within their industry. And obviously, if students are sort of keeping abreast of their own subjects, their own industries as well, then they'll become familiar with events that are taking place. And so, yeah, we would certainly encourage it.
That's brilliant, thank you. Somebody has asked, should students use social media when looking for work placement?
So yes, we always advise obviously trying to go out and find some of your own work experience opportunities as well. And when you do get to the college though, you do have the help of our team and also obviously your tutors and your family and friends around you, so don't feel pressured if you've not found anything. But we do obviously advise because it just helps in building your own network as well.
That's brilliant, thank you. Somebody has asked, all the social media or platforms that you mentioned before, somebody said, do I need to register on all of these social media platforms or just a few? What would be the advice?
Yeah, they don't need to register on all of them. We'd certainly advise that they start to think about having some kind of an online presence, but it may be that some social media sites are not really relevant to them. So when you're deciding which platforms to use, I'd always look at two things: purpose and audience. So what it is that they're trying to achieve, first of all. So as an example, some of our performing arts students have set up TikTok accounts, and you know, they've been posting lots of content during lockdown. You know, if your subject is something visual like graphic design, then Instagram might be relevant to you because it's very visual. So yeah, think about what it is that you're trying to achieve, but also think about your audience as well. So, you know, if there are certain organisations, certain industries that you're interested in, do a little bit of research and find out which social media sites that they're actually using. Because obviously there's no point just sending out loads and loads of posts and just talking to yourself on there. So so think really carefully about the audience and who you're trying to target, and also, as I said, purpose as well.
That's brilliant, thank you, that's great advice. Which actually leads on to another question. Somebody said, which social media platform is the best to find work?
Well, that obviously depends that you feel that you're looking to work in. So for instance, obviously LinkedIn is more of a professional platform, so kind of businesses may use this platform. But on the other hand, you've got Instagram, so it's very heavily marketing. So if you're looking for a job in kind of digital marketing or promotion or photography, and this is obviously more focused. But like Jenny mentioned, obviously consider your audience. So obviously the job that you're looking for, you kind of know what audience and what customer base you'll be working with. So kind of take that in mind and think what platform you think most of them will be on as well.
Brilliant, thank you. Somebody said, I'm only 16 and I'm planning on going to university after college. Why should I start to network now? And they said, is it not better waiting until they're a bit older?
Well, the sooner obviously you do it, obviously the better. So say you're not going to university for another 2 years, it gives you 2 years to kind of build your network and build everything around you. So by the time you've gone to university, maybe completed your degree, you've had 5 years of building your connections, you may have made an online presence, and the more kind of presence you've got, the more opportunities that come your way. Some jobs, it maybe is who you know, not what you know. So it's always good to have your kind of foot in the door in that sense.
That's brilliant, thank you. Somebody's actually asked a question about work placement and industry placement, and I think just when you talked about the first slide earlier on, Jenny, just what's the difference between work experience and industry placement?
So it's very similar, and it's mainly just really the difference is around the length of the placements. So the industry placements, you will complete about 315 hours, and they will be linked to a specific course, and the placement will be specifically tailored to that course and to the studies. With the work experience placements, they tend to be much shorter. So we don't have the target hours actually for this academic year as yet. But just to give you a rough idea, in the last academic year, students who were studying level 2 courses, they completed about 25 hours of placement, and students who were studying level 3 courses completed 35 hours.
That's brilliant, thank you. And then as somebody said about, would they be interviewed for a work placement?
Possibly, yes. It depends very much on the organisation and on the employer. So some employers are very keen on completing or carrying out interviews. And I think if you're doing one of the courses where you'll be doing an industry placement, I think certainly in most cases you would be expected to attend for an interview. With the shorter placements, it just depends very much on the employer. But you'd get a lot of help in terms of preparation for those interviews. So you'll get help from tutors, and you'll get help from the EPCs as well. You know, we can help you with interview questions, mock interviews, that kind of thing.
That's great, thank you. Somebody asked about the hours of work placement, which you've already covered there. I think we've just got sort of one or two more questions now. Where can I choose to go to complete a work experience, and do I get assigned a placement?
We don't assign them as such. What we do, what the EPCs do, is that we go out and we have links with employers within a number of different industries within Manchester. So we'll help students find a placement. We'll provide opportunities for them. Also, we'll help them to source their own placement. So if they're keen to source their own placements, or for example, if there's an organisation that they'd really like to get into, we can help them with that. So we can help them, you know, put together introductory emails, we can help them with CVs, we can help them make that initial phone call. But we don't assign them, so that we wouldn't say you must do this work placement, but we help them to find work placements that they're happy with and that will suit them.
That's brilliant, thank you. I think that concludes all of our questions actually on the social media side. There are a couple more work placement ones. I don't know, would you be okay if I asked you the work placement ones? Is that
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
So somebody said, why do I have to do a work placement?
So obviously the benefits that it has in the long term is endless. So obviously, like we've mentioned, you're able to network, you'll be able to get potential references. So obviously on completion of your course, you're kind of familiar with how the world of work works. And obviously you've worked in different organisations and companies, so you've seen their way of working as well and seen if it suits you. Like I mentioned, obviously it's endless, some of the reasons why you need to do it as well. And obviously it is assigned onto your course too.
That's brilliant, thank you very much. I think that concludes all the questions now for our session today. So just want to say a really big thank you to Jenny and to Sarah for hosting this session today. We do have a couple more sessions left tomorrow, so we've got a how to enrol session and also a student experience session, so the team will just sort of explain what it's like to be a student at the Manchester College. If you go on to tmc.ac.uk and go on to Couch to College, you'll be able to book onto those sessions. But again, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you all in September.
Thank you.
Thank you.